Linda, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. It's very happy that you invited me to come and share about our business with you.
Yes, well, on that note, can you please tell us a bit about the story of your brand and the story behind your products?
Sure. So our product, Natural Calm, which is basically our feature product, the key signature product, was developed over 40 years ago in the United States by a man named Peter Gillum. And it was such an effective product and has been around for years. And one of the reasons why it's so effective is because it's an ionic magnesium powder that dissolves in hot boiling water. So it's very absorbable, very effective, and you notice the difference almost immediately. We've had some customers, for example, over the years who are in a full-fledged anxiety attack, start taking the Natural Calm and say it will dial it down in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So how we discovered it, tell you a little bit about my background. So I was a nurse for 20 years. I was a director of nursing and CEO in long-term care and taught nursing at the college level. And then I met my husband and I stepped down from nursing to pastor. So my husband and I were pastoring a church in the Thornhill area. And in 2004, we heard that there were 40 million orphans in the continent of Africa. Mm. So we went to Malawi and came back to Canada thinking, what can we do to help? We had no extra money. And shortly after that, my younger sister, who had suffered with severe migraine headaches for 30 years, started taking Natural Calm. She'd actually heard about it from her son's tutor who Googled migraines, and up came Natural Calm, which was only available in the US. So Debbie, my sister, had a bottle shipped up. She started taking it twice a day, and literally within a month, she went from 3 migraines a week to 1 migraine about every 6 weeks. It was miraculous.
Wow.
And so, and as a nurse, I knew that magnesium was an important mineral. And in fact, it's one of the 4 major minerals and your body does not produce it. So you must get magnesium either through food or through supplementation. And I knew when I worked as a nurse, doctors would give magnesium intravenously for things like heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure, migraines. Even women with toxemia would be hooked up to a magnesium drip. So I watched my sister get better and better, and then I started taking it because I was struggling myself with pre or postmenopausal issues with sleep and muscle pain, and much to my surprise, the first night I took the Natural Calm, I slept through the night, and then over the course of about 7 days, I got rid of 80% of my muscle pain. Like it was like miraculous almost, and a lot of it had to do with the buildup of calcium. Because magnesium, one of its most important functions is that it activates vitamin D and vitamin K, which help your body to properly assimilate calcium where it's needed. And in fact, I was getting calcium deposits, in my muscles and in my joints. And calcium tenses and excites. Within the cell, it causes the muscles and cells to contract. Magnesium relaxes and calms. So when you get too much calcium, you don't have a proper balance of calcium magnesium. You end up with all kinds of health issues. And so anyway, because it helped me and it helped my sister, I decided to buy my first initial $200 wholesale order with a credit card and just started initially selling it to friends and family, and then I applied for natural product numbers from Health Canada. They were called submission numbers back then. And I started taking it door to door to the natural health stores in Toronto. And within a year, I got it into 50 stores. So the people in the US, Peter Gillum, was so happy and excited, and somebody was doing the paperwork and dealing with the red tape here in Canada to get a product in, and so they gave me the exclusive distribution rights for Canada. And we decided, my husband and I, right from the beginning, that we wanted to be a social enterprise, and so we decided to give all the profits after business expenses. Of course, there's salaries and there's marketing dollars and everything that goes into a business, and so as right from the beginning, we were giving that to help the poor, initially to the organization we got in Africa with, and they were using it to build orphanages and schools and drill water wells. And then a year later, we went to Kenya for the first time to see the projects that we were funding. And my husband, who'd grown up on a farm, was frustrated because the people were always asking for handouts. So it was never a sustainable methodology of helping the poor. And so eventually we started our own nonprofit called Organics for Orphans, which has now been rebranded to Thrive. And what we do through Organics for Orphans Thrive is we teach sustainable organic gardening, nutrition, natural medicine, and income generation. And over the course of the last, so I've been running the business 15 years, and we started Thrive 10 years ago, and we're now in about 20 different countries, and we're feeding about 1.5, we're growing enough food to feed 1.5 million meals a month.
That is
So
amazing.
it is, and it gives us such great joy. And we're past retirement age, but we just want to keep going until we go to heaven because it's just so wonderful. And the people that we're helping, it's incredible. And not only the people that we're helping in Africa, but I get emails almost every day from people that are helped by Natural Calm. And if you went on Amazon.com, you would see that there are 3,500 five-star reviews. And as I was telling you earlier, Natural Calm ranks #1 out of 7,500 natural health products in the US and has done for 12 years. So it's an incredible product. We're so thankful to have the distribution in Canada. And yeah, it's just been incredible and hugely rewarding.
It's a wonderful product. I've used it myself. I'm a big fan of Natural Calm. So,
Oh, great, great. What does it help you with, Stephanie?
well, as you mentioned, the sort of anxiety feeling, a little bit. Sometimes I get a little keyed up at night, so and it's difficult to get to bed. So I like to take it before that. Of course.
Have you tried our Comfort Sleep?
No, I
We have
haven't
a new
actually.
product. This is an amazing product.
Okay.
So the first 12 years I used Natural Calm, the magnesium, because magnesium relaxes and calms, and it actually helps to get excess calcium out of the cell. Plus it activates your own melatonin, which helps you sleep. But the new product, Comfort Sleep, contains GABA, L-theanine, and melatonin. So as we age, our melatonin stores are depleted. That's why so many seniors don't sleep well. And I now take 1 teaspoon of the Natural Calm with a half a teaspoon of the Comfort Sleep, and I get 7-8 hours sleep every night. And I'm still running the company and working, sometimes 8 to 10 hours a day, and I get a great sleep. So the L-theanine and GABA also help with anxiety. So people that are struggling with that, it's incredible how much it does help.
That sounds amazing and very much needed these days.
Oh, for sure. With all the stress with COVID. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So, who actually should be using the product? You talked about the anxiety, you talked about the calcium buildup. Are there other types of people that would benefit greatly from this product?
Everyone would benefit from the product because as I said earlier, magnesium is not produced by your body.
Right.
And magnesium activates 800 enzymatic processes in the body. So it affects every single cell, every single system, every organ really in the body. And so women that are pregnant and nursing, so let's start with the fetus, for example. Dr. Carolyn Dean, I started reading and studying and researching magnesium when I first started the business. And one of the best books on the subject of magnesium is called The Magnesium Miracle, which was written by Dr. Carolyn Dean, who is a medical doctor and also she's a naturopath. And she's dedicated 2 chapters to women's issues. One of them is infertility, pregnancy, nursing, young children, dealing with that, and then just women's issues in general, hormonal issues. And she says that women who are pregnant and nursing need more magnesium per pound of body weight than women who are not. And she also talks about, you've probably heard of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
Yes.
You've heard of young athletes, 16, 17-year-olds that are running or playing sports and drop dead from a heart attack. And in the book, she explains that, either it's congenital heart disease that hasn't been, diagnosed, but many times it's too much calcium and not enough magnesium in the heart muscle that will cause the heart to go spastic. So magnesium helps the whole cardiovascular system, and it helps women who are pregnant and nursing, prevention of toxemia, which a lot of women have, high blood pressure. It helps with an easier, safer labor. And then once you have the baby, when you're nursing, it helps the baby to sleep. It helps the baby to poop. It's just so many things that it really does help. And it helps with the anxiety associated with the hormonal issues, and it helps to balance the whole endocrine system, which is what produces our hormones. And so right from the get-go, everyone should take magnesium and hopefully take it twice a day, morning and night, because magnesium is depleted every 12 hours. And some of the things that deplete magnesium are exactly what our North American lifestyle is. So everything from stress and perspiration, too much sugar, too much alcohol, too much caffeine, all the things that we do deplete magnesium. So, and the difference is magnesium and calcium are like 2 sides of a coin. So calcium tenses and excites, magnesium relaxes and calms. Calcium constipates, so if you eat too much dairy, there's 10 calcium to 1 magnesium ratio in any form of dairy. So if you eat too much dairy, you're getting too much calcium and you may get constipated. Where if you take way too much magnesium, you might get loose stool. So the balance is really important. Calcium thickens blood, magnesium is a natural blood thinner. And calcium builds up and calcifies in the body, magnesium constantly depleted. So you need magnesium to help your body assimilate calcium, and you want it to assimilate it in the right places where it's going to be beneficial. So the other ways in which it helps heart disease, for example, is it's a natural antihypertensive. So it lowers blood pressure. It's a natural statin. It lowers cholesterol. It keeps the blood flowing because it's a natural blood thinner. So it helps prevent platelet aggregation. And, you know, it does so many wonderful things for the whole cardiovascular system. It also is very important for type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1, as you know, is an autoimmune disease, but it will prevent things like insulin resistance. And with type 2 diabetics, it is responsible for the production, function, and transport of insulin by the cell. So it really is essential for everyone to take every day because you don't want your glucose levels. And it also helps with weight loss and you know, issues with food anxiety or food emotional eating, that type of thing. So anyone who's anxious, depressed, it increases your serotonin levels. It helps to balance your hormones out. It reduces the production of adrenaline and cortisol, which are what is overly produced usually when you are anxious or stressed. So yeah, it just, I mean, I could go on and on. It just helps so many things. And really, even young children with autism, children with ADHD, it calms them down. It actually helps them to become more focused. We have a product called Calm Balance that contains L-theanine, vitamin B6, which is really important with magnesium for you know, just calming and focus. It helps with the immune system. It helps with the synthesis of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. It helps your body properly assimilate your nutrients. Yeah, it's just a miraculous miracle mineral. It's not a drug. It's not a medication. It's simply one of the minerals your body needs to function, and you cannot produce it. So yeah, to answer your question, everybody needs magnesium every day, and if they can possibly fit it in twice a day, every day.
Excellent.
But it will have a long and healthy life, and you know, yeah.
In terms of children, though, what dosage would be recommended for small children?
Yeah, so children actually are the same as pregnant women. So children need 4 to 5 milligrams per pound of body weight. So adults require 3 to 4 milligrams per pound of body weight. But women that are pregnant and nursing and little ones, of course, that's still a lower dose, right? Because their body weight is smaller. But you know, a lot of children today struggle with constipation. I have a couple of grandkids that do. And part of it is because they eat a lot of dairy. You know, children love white bread, and they love pizza, and they love pasta, and they love cheese, and all of that constipates. So you're getting a lot of children these days on that kind of a diet who are getting chronic constipation. So magnesium is really good for that. Plus things like growing pains. We have a line of transdermal magnesium products under our Bolton's Natural line. And this is a magnesium chloride. So Dr. Dean, again, the one who wrote the Magnesium Miracle, years ago, probably 13 years ago, we met her personally, and she would come and speak at trade shows. And she recommended to us to start using the magnesium oil. It was called magnesium oil, but then we got the NPN who couldn't call it oil by Health Canada because it doesn't contain fat. So we actually started using that and selling it. And it's a transdermal magnesium. We put it on the skin. So it bypasses the GI tract, so you don't get loose stools that are associated with internal magnesiums if you take too much. And the beauty of putting it on the skin is it actually goes into it is picked up by the blood into the system. And it's very effective for things like any type of magnesium deficiency, so all the things we were just talking about, but it also helps restore aching muscles. So it relaxes and calms the muscles and nerves. It helps to get excess calcium out. It helps with restless legs. Charlie horses, muscle cramps, and it's really good for children with growing pain. So a lot of kids, my kids all had growing pains when they were younger, didn't know anything about magnesium at that time, and usually it's too much calcium. They have a drink of milk before bed, they get into bed, and then suddenly they got growing pains or Charlie horses or cramps or whatever. So that's all associated with too much calcium.
Yeah, I suffered terribly with growing pains as a child. I wish my mother
Yeah,
would have known.
yeah, yeah.
Are there any preservatives at all in the product or
No, no,
no?
no preservatives.
Okay, excellent. Any contraindications or any certain types of people that should take some caution when using the product?
So if a person is on high doses of Coumadin, Coumadin is a blood thinner,
Mm-hmm.
so they would have to, talk with their doctor. But a doctor, for example, who prescribes Coumadin would not tell a person to stop eating leafy greens and unrefined nuts, grains, and seeds, which is one of the best places to get magnesium. For example, pumpkin seeds are very high in magnesium. So they would have to work with their doctor. And we had a a customer years ago, one of my mom's friends, who was in her late 80s and had suffered for years with constipation, and she was on Coumadin. And anyway, she was taking high doses of the natural calm, and at that time didn't realize. And so she went to her doctor, and her doctor was like, "Whoa, your blood is too thin." So what happened was the doctor told her to stop, and she was furious because she was finally having regular bowel movements with the natural calm. So they worked together, and she was able to reduce the amount of calm, and he was able to reduce the amount of the Coumadin, and it worked out really well. So people that are on high doses of a blood thinner, but not something that helps with, I think it's called Plavix, which helps with platelet aggregation. There's no need for concern with that type of medication. The other thing is that people with severe kidney disease, so magnesium is depleted through the kidneys, but you also, as well, don't want to stop taking magnesium. You would probably take it in smaller doses throughout the day rather than one large dose at once. But again, you don't want to not take magnesium because oftentimes kidney disease is caused by too much calcium, especially if it's kidney stones or related to calcification in the actual kidney. And then the other thing would be someone who might have loose stools, like irritable bowel, or somebody who's constantly has loose stools. So we had a gentleman, a 60-year-old man. This is 10 years ago. Came up to a trade show booth, and he said, "I've got irritable bowel, painful, bloody stools, like cramping, terrible. Would this product help me?" And Dr. Dean had said to us, if you get people like this, recommend a quarter teaspoon 4 times a day. And indeed, this is what we said to the man. A month later, he phoned me and he said, "Madam, I have normal bowels for the first time in my life." So what it did was it actually reduced the irritability of the nerve that was causing the bowel to be, if you're really nervous about something and you're going to be on stage and you're nervous about it, you might get loose stools because your nerves are upset. Well, what happened is it actually calmed the nerve for, irritating the bowel, and it brought his bowels into balance. And we've seen that happen over and over again. People say, well, don't take mag citrate because it causes loose stools. But indeed, if you take it in a balanced form or sip on it throughout the day in a water bottle, it actually will give you the healthiest, best bowel movements. And mag citrate is not an irritant or stimulant. It works through osmosis. So it draws water into the bowel to help evacuate the bowel rather than causing irritation.
Fantastic. And where can people find your products?
Every store across Canada, pretty much, and online. So we're carried in all the natural health stores and Shoppers Drug Mart, Loblaws. We now are selling it on Costco online. And then, of course, the wonderful natural health stores, which is what I would highly recommend, simply because they're the ones who trusted us. They took us in first. They have the knowledgeable staff that will help you when you go into the store and you have questions about magnesium. And you go into Shoppers, I hate to say it, but usually there isn't somebody in the aisle helping you make choices or educating you about a certain over-the-counter product. So the good thing is that the natural health stores really are the great places to go to get help and information from
them. Agreed there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, Linda. I wanted to ask you, are there any final words or anything that you'd really like to say about Natural Calm?
Well, I would say the most important thing that I would say is it's a premium product. It's more higher price than some products, but we have the US dollar that we're dealing with when we bring it into Canada. But I would say the most important thing is it's a product with a purpose. So 100% of our profits go to our nonprofit Thrive for Good. And what we're doing, our big, hairy, audacious goal, my husband and I, is to help end poverty. And we believe that we're making inroads with that. We've just launched our new Thrive Institute. So we put all the information that we teach at our school in Kenya. We have a residential school for men and women that come and live with us for a month in Kenya. And all the training and the teaching and all the information that we've gathered over the years, it's now on Thrive Institute. So people can go on there and actually take our training, and literally it's free, especially if you apply for a scholarship. It's quite easy to do. So yeah, I would say that's been the biggest blessing of having this company. And again, I'm just so thankful to God that we've been able to do what we do. And, you know, I'm 66, my husband's 67, and we can't see any end in sight as far as, you know, continuing the process and helping people with their health here in Canada and helping people throughout the world who are living in poverty.
And how can people find out about taking that training? Where would they go to find?
They would go to www.thriveforgood.org.
Okay, perfect. And to find out more about your products?
Naturalcom.ca.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of blogs, great information, lots of great information, but all the things I've just talked about. So yeah, it's a really good source.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you so much again, Linda, for taking the time to speak with me today. And I know all of our listeners will really appreciate the information.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.